Now, there are just hours to go until Americans vote for a new president. Both candidates have been making their final campaign stops to woo voters, particularly in swing states. On Sunday, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump hit major battleground states, including Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire. Clinton is targeting African Americans and other minority groups, while Trump is expanding his reach to historically Democratic states. Under the U.S. election system, if a candidate wins a state, that candidate takes all the electoral votes for that state. A candidate needs 270 electoral votes, about half of the total 538, to become U.S. president. Let's get to the latest now, and I'm joined by our Washington correspondent, Daniel Ranges. Daniel, it is a matter of hours now, though, before the U.S. presidential election. What's the build-up to the big day been like?
Well, it's been marked by a remarkable turn of events over the past couple of weeks, in which the major story has been the decision by the director of the FBI to once again look at Hillary Clinton's use of her private email server while she was US Secretary of State, opening up a huge new tranche of emails that were found, and suggesting that that might change the game in terms of the potential for her to be charged. But then another unprecedented dramatic turn of events over the weekend, in which the FBI director once again wrote to members of Congress saying that they had looked through tens of thousands of emails around the clock. Investigators had concluded that there was no addition to the findings of the initial investigation, which was that Hillary Clinton had been unprofessional in her use of her private email server, but certainly not criminal. So that has dominated the headlines. But in the final run-up to this election, yes, they are targeting the key swing states, which will decide the next president of the United States.
Well, Daniel, though, when it comes to Africa, though, what should Africa expect in terms of U.S. official policy? Trump or Clinton, respectively, emerges victorious?
Well, broadly speaking, I think that given U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's time in office and the fact that she's stayed in very close attention to what the Obama administration has been doing through her campaign team, it's likely that Africa policy is going to be broadly on the same lines as the Obama administration's policy. I think they will be looking to build on the structures that President Obama has made, such as the US-Africa Leaders Summit, the major business ties that they have erected in terms of the structures, particularly on trying to build a trading relationship with the East African bloc. They will continue along the same lines in terms of security policy, mostly outsourcing things to the CIA, special operations and advisory groups in terms of targeting Islamic State and Al-Qaeda groups in the region. As to the Trump presidency, I think you'll probably see a ramp up of security policy to some extent, given his concern that the Obama administration hasn't done enough on that front. But also, I think, domestically speaking, President Trump would look at new migrant policies, refugee flows. He has indicated that he will look very strongly upon any Muslims coming into the country and suggested a temporary ban while they look at security. So that could have a major diplomatic ramifications on Muslim-heavy countries in Africa, such as Nigeria. And of course, in recent days, he's actually criticized the Somali American community in Minnesota, where they have a heavy population there. So that could have huge diplomatic implications. But as to trade, I think both of them are going to want to continue along this route of trying to get America back into a competitive position vis-a-vis the long-term interests of business in Africa.
All right, Daniel Ranges for us there in Washington.